Hello, welcome to my channel. I've just started working on this new city of Waterloo. This is my third live stream. So we've got about 3,000 people now. I thought I left it at 3,000, but I think somebody must have died, sadly. So I guess I'll start with a little tour, brief recap, then we'll jump in. Got a couple of goals for this video, for this live. I want to continue to grow this medium density residential neighborhood that I started last time. So I'll expand that and talk about the technique that I use for getting medium density residential on console, because there's a lot of limitations when you don't have mods like you could have on PC. But the other things that I want to do today are set up a forestry industry. So you can see we've got pretty decent demand for industry. I should mention I'm on the Seven Lakes map, which comes with the mass transit DLC. So I thought that this area would be good for forestry. We've got access to the rail over here, so I think that makes some sense. You'll notice I'm playing with unlimited funds on. Some people don't like that. That's fine. I just don't like to limit myself with funds too much, because my cities just they don't turn out as well. You just have to do things haphazardly, which is somewhat realistic, but I'd prefer to do things better. I don't think I lean towards perfectionism like some players, but so the other thing that I had started last time was this neighborhood. Added a park here. So this map is a bit unique in that it just has one interstate, or just one highway connection into the city. A lot of other maps have several, quite a few highways, but this one just has one. So I think my plan for the future will be I'll probably eliminate this highway a bit, back it up a ways, so we can continue to grow throughout this area, and I think that'll work really well and help to fix traffic problems up front. But otherwise, I've got pretty standard grid through here. I wanted to have a cut through at an angle to head out this way and this way. Just to move traffic more quickly that way. So that serves basically as an arterial. And we've got an arterial going. In my head, this is north. It's not probably in the game, but to me, this is north. We've got one headed east out towards where I'm going to build industry. And eventually I hope that clean up some of this dirty industry that's down here. Okay, so let's jump in. I got a very basic bike system, bike route set up in here, so folks can head from all the way over in this neighborhood or up in this neighborhood over to the industry area to get to those jobs. And given the growth and residential that we need, I think we'll start out with adding a bit more residential growth before we start working on forestry industry. Okay, so the way that I'm working on this neighborhood is using, is using the district style of Heart of Korea, which is a DLC. I think that these buildings look pretty nice. The smaller buildings look pretty nice. So my strategy here is to use that district style to create these sort of more medium density looking buildings. You know, these are what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 to 5 stories. It looks like, I think so. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of them are around 4. There's one that got built over here that's something more like 7 stories. But to me, this works pretty well in terms of thinking of older neighborhoods in cities, like you know, medium to larger cities as they start to grow and expand. Neighborhoods become a bit more compact often. So the original part of the city was in here. Now we're expanding a bit north and a bit here to southwest. And to make it a little more realistic, I'm going with this medium density pattern that I'm trying to get built out here. The way that I'm doing that is with, the Heart of Korea building style. And the problem with City Skylines when you don't have mods is that if I would zone this whole thing here, we would get a very large building that would likely spawn there. And I'm going to turn the clock on again here now that I'm going to get going. But I don't want a really large building getting built there. I want something that looks like, you know, a standalone row home, or, you know, there's not exactly a perfect looking attached row home. But as some of these, like if you look at these, as some of them start to upgrade, they do tend to look a bit like attached row homes, which is the look that I'm going for. You know, you think of cities like Chicago, practically, you know, any city that's, you know, experienced growth in the late 1800s to early 19th, not early 19th, early 1900s, with that sort of look. So I'm gonna put in some more roads here, and then we'll get expanding on that sort of pattern. So I'm trying to keep my blocks pretty consistent in terms of a grid at this point. Eventually I will definitely break that grid and add a little bit more interest, but for now we're going to keep it as it is. Got that selected. So I should mention, for anyone that's joining, I am an urban planner. My job is city planning, urban planning, call it different things. So I have a lot of familiarity with planning concepts in the real world. It is my day job. So one thing I'm going to try to do in these larger blocks where they meet this angled street is add in some paths to increase connectivity through there. I've done that up here as well, creating like a bit of a path, walkway or alley behind that area. So I'm going to do that again. I may not do that on all the streets, but so the technique with medium density here is that, again, I'm not just going to fill in this whole block, because the buildings that would spawn here would probably be, you know, 4 by 4, and those would, when they upgrade, become massive. And I don't want that. That's not realistic for what I'm trying to go for. So I typically am just zoning in blocks of 2x2, sometimes 3x2. I think the one 3x3 that I did ended up looking a little large. I think we could have some of that. That would be realistic, but I don't want too much of that. It's too big. On this main arterial here, I think it would be realistic to see some taller buildings. Like these are probably what, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 7, 8 stories. I think that makes some sense. You would see a bit higher density in this arterial that would taper down. So yeah, now I've got this block sort of zoned out. You have to intentionally leave these gaps so that they'll fill in over time. And I'm wanting my buildings to face this street. Is this street called Jeremy Street? Oh, if you watched my last live, I've renamed this street many times. Something that very much bugs me about City Skylines. I think I had named it Wren Street after like birds, house wren. Okay. That really bugs me about this game. Okay, so these will eventually get. Oh, is this? Let's see. This is outside of my district. So let's check out my district lines here. Ah, yes, let's fix that. Definitely want this district to extend. Okay, so that building will go away in a moment. But yeah, I'm trying to get these buildings to face Highland Street, leave some gaps. Sometimes a 1x3 ends up looking pretty good. If you do too many 2x2s or 2x3s, they often have this parking when they haven't upgraded yet. A lot of times they'll upgrade and get rid of that parking later. But I really don't like the way that looks at first. But it will go away eventually. Okay, so let's add in a few more here. Unfortunately, doing it this way is a lot more time consuming. It's so much easier to, actually I feel like, let's just do that. It's so much easier to just zone an entire section and let it go on its own, but on console, it's not a great option when you're trying to get medium density. Okay, so we'll come back to this block in a little bit. Gonna keep going and doing that here. Too bad we'll have to eliminate a lot of these trees. Okay. Few will go with this block as well. Put in some gaps. Leave a gap for the road to extend. Get some variety in the way that those are placed. Okay, so since we are seeing a bit of an issue with workers for the commercial areas, I'm not going to add any additional commercial right now. Unfortunately, this neighborhood is too new, so none of these people are educated. Ooh, and we do have an issue with some noise here, so I'm gonna add in a few trees and see if we can mitigate that a little bit. Especially when we're right next to the elementary there. I don't want that to be noisy. And I'll upgrade this road to have a couple of trees too. Why don't we just do that up? Okay. So let's see if any of these have filled in. We've got a spot here we can now get. Now that those are built, we can grab spots here. Hopefully that'll work out okay there. Okay, fill in something here. Alright, it looks like we're gonna need to extend our water pipes. Let's continue that. Okay. And while this area is growing, we're just gonna come back here and add some growth there as well. Why is that? Huh. It's strange that there's so many gaps in the zoning there. I don't know why that would be. That's very frustrating. If I had mods, I could fix that. But I don't have mods. Other console players are yeah, feeling my pain. What? Why is that? I really thought that that was a straight 90-degree angle. Oh, it's not. Interesting. Okay, that's 90. That's 90. Ugh, this game has a mind of its own. Okay, so I'll let that grow over here. Pick up some of our demand. Okay. Head back over to Rosewood Square. Let's see. Okay, so this neighborhood's filling in pretty well. This one too. How do we not have water? Okay, let's fix that. I don't know if I really want this street to go all the way out. It's pretty close to the shore, but I think we'll let it be. Okay. So why don't we allow this here? Okay, that's looking pretty good. Alright, got some fours there. Singles, two by two. Okay. Alright. Now before I head over and work on industry, let's take a look at these info views. Electricity's good. Actually, let's check out the budget as well. Okay. That all looks good. We definitely need to build another firehouse for this area. So we don't want this right on the main street. Let's see. I do want it. Actually, this area is probably good. And let's go here with it. So it is a quick north-south. Okay. These will all turn green in a second here. Alright. Healthcare. Yeah, our average health is not that great. What's the problem? Childcare's alright. Elder care is not very good. Let's take care of that as well. This is a younger neighborhood, so I think that will be covered. Let's take this one up here somewhere. It's unfortunate this is a little too wide for these blocks. Maybe we'll let's see. So this one covers there. Take out this block. And then we'll add a path so that Sims can still walk through here. Oops, is that too close? There we go. Okay. Alright, so our demand for is probably educated workers isn't looking good. Not enough educated workers, yeah. That's alright for now. Okay, let's fill in a few more here. Okay. And then we'll start a few down here. Healthcare. We'll need another high school pretty soon. It's not reaching this part, even up there eventually as well, so let's plan in a high school for over here quickly. I think I'd like it to be like in this area down here. So let's extend things out. That's a pretty long block. Let's cut that up. Okay. Should be good. Pretty close to the library as well, which is nice. Let's see, do I have a basketball court there? Let's go with tennis behind the high school. Don't you just love how those Sims are there right away? Where'd you come from? Okay. It's pipes. Okay, take a quick look at our residential growth. Okay, this is not filling in that quickly. That's okay. Oh, getting one built there. here. Alright, get a side street here. Okay. Alright, let's head over and work on that industrial area then. We do have a pretty good demand for industrial at this point, which I was hoping to create before demand gets too high. Let's see. Okay. So I've got this extended to this area. The trees over here, very densely populated. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. I think, you know, eventually we're gonna need to add some public transit so people don't need to drive to these jobs. That may not happen in this episode. I think we're likely about to start going a lot more negative as I build this out, and that's fine with me, but I'm sorry if it bugs you while you're watching this. Okay, so I didn't necessarily want to create a curve on this road, so I think I'm going to fix this up. If you check out my live stream from yesterday, these were previously separated lakes. I connected them, which is something I have never done before, and it was a disaster. I've never watched anyone do it, never looked up a tutorial, and I should have, because I did not do it well. But that's fine, you learn. Okay, so I'm gonna grab that height and just very gently bring this shoreline out a little bit, and it's gonna flood a little bit, which is part of the problem I faced yesterday. But that flooding will go away. So I'm thinking I will eventually need some I'm gonna need to break off an arterial to run this way and meet up with the rail over here, because we're gonna build a train terminal, cargo terminal off the train tracks there eventually. You know, I've made this 4 lanes and debated whether I need to make this a 4-lane road. Let's go ahead and do it. Oops. Let's upgrade that. I'm just gonna extend this a little ways for now. And I think I'm gonna want a main road coming through the middle here. And this is gonna be expensive. And that's alright. Alright, so I think I did make this a district. So yes, let's just adjust that a little bit. Okay, so place our main forestry building. Typically not. Doesn't experience much traffic. Cannot build on water, so it's still flooded a little bit. Doesn't look like it. Why is it doing that? Okay, there we go. That's strange. Huh. Okay, well, we'll go there. Now, I haven't really thought out too much the block sizes that I want to aim for over here. But I'm going to start with some gravel roads and think about that. Yeah, that flooding will go away. Definitely don't want it to get too close to this main road. Let's see. If I want to expand that, we'll go a block over from the main building. Okay, so let's see how big some of these assets are. So I'm gonna go with some large. Okay. Let's start 2 of those. Alright, so then you can change the appearance from here. Yes, we do need some pipes. Okay. It's gonna be a pretty long expansion. Bed under the road. Okay. So take this out a little further. I definitely don't want any traffic to get backed up if I make this turn too close here, so let's see how these fit in. Another large tree. Okay. And then these, let's see, so about, are those the same size as 2? Nice, looks like they are. So I think I'm gonna cut this block here. Let's make sure I can upgrade that without, I'm fairly certain, but let's double check. Okay, perfect, yeah. Okay, so I'm using these cheaper small industry roads. Now I want to decide if I should have a block that comes through the middle or not. I think I might not do that, but so I'm gonna pause it quick and think about where I'm going to want the storage and production facilities. Before I let this keep growing and run into problems. Oops. So this asset, how does that compare to this size? Huh. I don't think 2 of them are going to fit back to back on that block. But let's think about the traffic direction. So, as you can see here, these trucks are going to use this road quite a bit. This is probably exporting now. Yeah, the lumber mill. Oh yeah, because I did set up some forestry things over there. Great. So those trucks are gonna need a route to take it to a storage facility. And the locations for those, I think, I don't want on this main road. It's gonna back up traffic a lot, so I think I'll do is put them out here on this side. And then I'll put something else that loads from here on that side. I think I can do one of these. Oops. And then hopefully we can fit in some kind of storage over here. Sawdust. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. Okay. And I think I might mirror this on the other side. But first let's extend the water pipes, and we better get some electricity out here as well. Which unfortunately means I'm gonna have to run something across here, which is not ideal. But it is okay. Alright, that should reach that corner pretty quickly here. Yeah, I think it just hit that. Okay. Now then, I'm gonna break up this block. Let's go ahead and put it flush 0 lot line. Okay, so then in an ideal world, we will get trucks leaving these production assets here, and they will deliver to this storage facility. So I'm going to mirror that on this side. Let's see, how much is that? 810. And the closer we get over to the rail, I think the more it makes sense for some of those production, not production, some of the factory and yeah, other production facilities. So which of these is the most efficient? We've got the paper mill, which, well, so it's a pulp mill, produces paper. Wood plant. I think these are fairly large assets. And they will pollute, unfortunately. So we don't want these to be too close to our fields here. Alright, so let's extend this arterial a bit. I think I might curve it so we don't have to have another intersection here. I hope I don't regret that later. We will see. Alright. this a ways. Okay, so we've got a train. I'm contemplating if the train station should be built just here, or if I should extend it. Extend the tracks a bit this way. It's a bit of a tough call. Interesting. Well, I don't think I'm going to build a cargo train today anyway. So we'll see. Alright, let's take a pause from the industry for now and check on our residential areas. Okay, these are coming in pretty nicely. Let's go fill in some middle areas. Let's put another 4. I hope these will level up into something that looks like a row home later. Alright, those are working out pretty well. Okay, and as you can see, there's still a pretty sizable area through here with a lot of open space. And I will probably, throw some trees and other landscaping back there eventually. Not today. Alright, so this is fronting that street. Let's put something small back there. Okay. There's a fire station. Okay. Add some growth here. Hear things leveling up, which is nice. Satisfying sound. Okay, so this is the high school. Contemplating if I want more park space there, but I think I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna leave that block as well. I don't think I'm gonna add any residential on that side street. So, yeah, my technique for medium density, as you may be perceiving, is a bit time consuming, but I don't know if there's a much better way. If you have a better way, let me know. Drop it in the comments. I think I would like to give this some breathing room. So I might not put anything on that street. Probably put a couple trees in there later. Alright, so interesting. This is a backside here. It's funny how that pops through this parking lot. Yeah, so when you get down here at stop using my mouse, grab this controller. When you get down here, street level, this looks like a nicely established medium density neighborhood, which is exactly what I'm hoping to put together here. Are these residential? Let's check that out. It's a commercial building. Kind of annoying that we got 3 of the same one. see how that levels up. I like this 5-way intersection here. I think it looks nice. Alright, so here's, we've got one of the, a pretty decent example of the way that these, Korea assets level up. So these are level 2, so this one is a level 3. So yeah, eventually, in a 1x1, it looks nice. And hoping that, yeah, those will end up looking like nicely placed row homes eventually. We'll see. Okay. Let's check out this. Whoops. Let's check out the land value here. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I need to add in another post office or some other parks and stuff to get this land value to keep increasing. Yeah, we'll definitely need a medical clinic over here. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm wondering if I should go with a hospital. Right now we have 2 medical clinics in total. I think a hospital would make sense, actually. It's not gonna fit there. I don't want the back of the hospital to be facing this street. I would really like it to front that street, or, you know, I think we'll go with that. It's not perfect in terms of the streetscape here, but it'll do. Let's just quickly do some landscaping. Some people love to landscape. It's not my favorite, to be honest. I could probably do without. Okay, let's throw in some smaller. This is why I don't like landscaping. It's finicky. I just want to put some things in here, you know? And it doesn't really allow for my ADHD brain when it doesn't work very quickly. I know that there's mods for PC to make this work better. I wish that I could do that. You people on PC are lucky. Okay, so I think that corner looks a bit better now in terms of the streetscape. Alright. Our residential demand is looking pretty good now. Let's check it out. Okay, we've got all of that covered. I really would like average health to be a lot higher than that. Well, people are finally reaching the age where they die. 34 people are buried. Okay. Childcare. Definitely need a childcare clinic over here as well. Let's do that. Okay. Should we put it next to this hospital? I think that makes sense. You will a lot of times see those sorts of uses clustered in cities, in real life. So let's go with that. Okay. thing I'm gonna do before I head back over to the forestry industry is look at our bike routes again. I spent a little time covering this in my last live. So, bike routes we have right now reached up to here. We're definitely going to extend that. I want to make sure that all of these services that I'm adding are accessible by bike. Look, we've already got some people in that bike lane, and I just placed it. Alright. So following the existing bike path comes here. It's not the most direct route, but it'll get you there. You know, eventually I will need a route that comes east to west across the city. We're not quite there yet. Look at the use of this path. Pretty significant use of this path here to connect people going east to west, since we don't have public transit yet. Okay, and let's check out the bike routes up here. I think I did fill these in pretty well last time. Connects to this park. And we've got a good north-south route. Okay, great. Yeah, as I mentioned in my previous live, early in the game, these bike routes are so significant. When you don't have, oh, I swear, Jeremy Street, it really bugs me. I'm gonna have to go back through and fix some street names, but not right now. Yeah, so early game bike routes, really important, but when you don't have public transit set up yet, I think when we reach about 5,000, we'll want to definitely get working on that. Okay, so let's take a look at the routes here and see where people are traveling. So the trucks coming from outside of the city, I imagine, of the highway. Not the most efficient use, but when our city's not too populated, it's not that big of a deal. But we'll definitely need to fix it relatively soon. Okay, so to address more workers in this area, you need to set up workers' barracks. I think I will set those up along this main side here, which will almost act as a frontage road from this arterial. Okay, so workers' barracks. We haven't set up a lot of industries so far. These definitely help to fulfill your need for workers as your industry is growing. They also increase the efficiency in the industry area, which definitely helps. So let's take a look here. We definitely need to set up some production plants. Right now we don't have any net profit. We do need to get some more production going. Okay. So let's do that next. After we extend these water pipes. Oops. Just extend. That road will extend, so let's go with that. Okay. I'm zoomed out here, I am also going to set up a fishing industry, which is going to be vital for this map in particular, because there is, oops, if we look at the natural resources, there's no fertile land, or oil or ore. I think like really far off in the distance somewhere. Yeah, there's teeniest bit of those resources out there, but really not enough to make use of them. So if you do want industry on this map, it's forestry or fishing. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and set up some production here. Oops. I'm comparing pollution and noise pollution of each of these assets. So this has less noise pollution, higher ground pollution, and the production rate is 64. It's a much higher production rate. So we'll go with that. And as I said, I don't want it too close, so I think I'm gonna build another road to meet up with this one. Or we'll place that asset. Okay, pulp mill. It's a pretty narrow asset. Let's see. I think that location makes some sense. Alright, so if you don't know much about the industries here, basically the trucks are going to take everything from these fields, they'll drop it off in these storage facilities. I have these set to balanced, which I think works pretty well. So they try to keep them, you know, maybe 50% full, depending on what you have built in production though. They will get fuller. But then the raw products will be taken to the pulp mill for production, and then we will need a warehouse to store the finished products. Let's take a look at the warehouses. I'm gonna go with a small warehouse for now. And let's see. Alright, so we're taking raw products there, as you can see. And once they start producing, we will need a warehouse, so let's figure that out. These do not create any ground pollution, which is great. Trying to decide, well, for now, it might make some sense to have this closer to the highway because we don't have a train station for shipping and receiving, but eventually it would make more sense, I think, to have that near the train station. Let's see. You know, we could move it eventually, so I think for now I am gonna go with over here on this main arterial. So we're making paper at this pulp mill, when it's done here, it'll either get shipped out of the city or stored in this smaller house. Got it set to balanced. We'll probably see an influx of some trucks coming from outside the city to fill that up, which I find to be a bit infuriating, but that's how it works in this game. Okay, and so that we don't overproduce, I think we'll see how this works for now. Is that electricity gonna reach? Darn. Those two did not reach. That's also frustrating. For now, I'm gonna connect them like this, and we'll get rid of them later. Okay. Okay, so these are both functioning now. Oh, we need to take a look at these junctions. Definitely don't need stoplights here at the moment. With this influx of traffic, a stoplight may not be necessary, but we will need it eventually, so I think I'll just leave it. I'm gonna set that up with a stop from this side. Alright. Okay, let's take a look here. Oh, we just leveled up. Excellent. Okay, great. We are making a profit now. So we've reached level 2. Oh, my mistake. You're not making a profit. There's some profit from the raw materials, but not yet. In total, no cumulative profit. But we are going to set up. I wonder why people are upset. We better go check on our city over here. Huh. This is interesting. Not sure why people are upset. Okay, it's somewhat better now. Let's take a look at our services. Going to need some water services soon. Medical's good. Okay, that's going up. These look good. Our high school availability is good. Oh, we definitely need a university. Wow. It's a pretty big oversight, honestly. Okay. And this is a large asset. I do want this to be pretty central. I think I'm gonna go with this location. It's not my favorite. And then I need to fix that path. So, these paths really bug me. The break in that pavement is it's so ugly that I think I'm just gonna turn this into a regular path. Even though those park paths generally look nicer. And is this path completely necessary? Probably not. But I prefer to give that option in an area that I know is highly trafficked by pedestrians. Okay, there. I guess that's a little bit better. A little bit, at least. Yeah, so people will probably start moving over to that path instead. I'm also gonna throw a little landscaping here. Okay. Oh, that is very finicky. I'm gonna scrap that idea. Maybe a different time. I'll come back and detail that, but not now. Alright, so our residential demand is very high. I need to work on a bit of expansion here. Let's fill this in. Let's fill this in. Oh, I never noticed. This asset has a gazebo in the back. It looks nice. Okay. I reserved this spot in case we needed some extra services here, but, oops. I don't know if we do. I think all of these are fine again, so let's see. Wow, 14 graduated citizens already. I just put that in 5 minutes ago. Advanced. Those are some advanced students. Okay, how are we doing for elementary? Good, good. Just checked this. Healthcare overall, pretty good. Yep. Let's check out traffic. My target is always to keep traffic above 85%. It's usually fine early in the game. Ooh. Garbage processing is not great. Let's go check that out. Okay. So at this point, these waste transfer facilities are always so much more efficient, but I cannot justify building one of these massive waste processing complexes at this point in the game. So right now all we have is a recycling center and an incinerator. I believe the incinerator's more efficient. Let's see, processing rate. 48,000, 24,000. Yeah, we'll just go with another incinerator for now. Okay. Alright, that looks good. Looks like we also needed some water. Let's go ahead and add in another. Another pipe. Connect these. And I always like to give this a loop, which I think is a lot more realistic. And then we'll go take a look at our sewage treatment. Okay. Advanced inland. This is definitely the best in terms of efficiency. unfortunately you do get pollution from it. And because of that, I'm gonna put it closer to backing up on this thoroughfare. What I mean by is this roundabout, because I will probably never put any zoning very close to that for traffic reasons. Let's go ahead and loop that as well. Okay. Always freaks me out when these turn red for a second. Very strange that that appeared to go offline. I don't know why that does that. If you know, let me know, because I'm very curious. Okay. So we need to keep growing these neighborhoods. Slot in some more this, which will be medium density eventually. Okay. And it can be hard to tell, but if you're new to playing this game, these will automatically spawn separate buildings. These are not created. I'm sorry. These are not adjoined zoning. Since that is spawning something, we'll put that with some zoning. Alright. So it looks like this neighborhood is pretty well filled out. Add another one there. Oh, I don't think I want 4. Although, you know, I don't actually know that I know what a 4x1 building would spawn to look like, so let's give it a try. Okay. And while we're at it, I'm gonna give my commentary on how realistic this quote-unquote medium density is using I can't think of the name, the district style of Heart of Korea. If you look at the number of households in each of these what I'm calling medium density buildings, they're actually, by definition of density, these are probably more like a lower density in terms of city skylines. So this is one household in this building. You know, if I were to see this building in in a real life neighborhood, there are 6 parking stalls here. It's 4 floors. I would probably expect 4 floors at this size to have at least 2 households. You know, potentially even 4 households. And you would not need 6 stalls of parking, in my opinion. In the opinion of some people, maybe they do need those stalls. But what I'm, you know, overall my point is that, oh wow, this is pretty dense here. Interesting. What lot size is that? 3x2. Yeah, it's probably a little more dense than what I want. So I think I'm gonna make that building historical, and I don't want that to upgrade any taller. And in fact, another way to fix that would be to go to these policies, go to city planning, and ban high-rises. You definitely don't want high-rises populating here. Alright, so we're We're having rather slow growth, only about 1,000 people since I started this episode, and that's fine, because I want this to grow in a way that looks like how I want it to. Yeah, but getting back to what I was saying, this is one household. That's not realistic, really. So from a physical, just outside perception, I would call this medium density. But in terms of one household being in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this 7-story building, not realistic in the slightest, in my opinion. Maybe if you're extremely wealthy, you would have one household there, but I just don't see that being the case almost anywhere. But in terms of the way that it looks, it has more of the look of what I'm trying to achieve visually. Okay, thanks for listening to that rant. I think that I'm going to make a few more changes in this industry area and then wrap it up for this episode. And I'm actually going to hit pause. The residential demand there is growing pretty high. Alright, so what did I leave off with? I need to create a wood production facility as well. Okay, so engineered wood plant. I believe that's the biggest option. Yeah. So because this is also going to produce some pollution, I think, let's double check here. Oh wow, that does not produce any pollution. I didn't realize that. We could put that a bit closer then. I think I will put that over here. Actually, let's put that on this side street. I don't want it right on the corner because then it will likely back up. Let's go ahead and make 2 of those right away. Turn the clock back on to get those online. Okay, so it looks like those are pretty even in terms of input and output, which I like. Let's check out these. Yeah, so these are nearly full, which means that we do need more production facilities. So hopefully these will start to even out as the trucks will start delivering to these 2 plants, instead of just storing them or exporting. That said, we will also need a warehouse for planed timber, which is that finished product here. So let's take a look at our warehouses. We'll start with a small warehouse. Let's see. I'm trying to decide if it makes sense to put that. Oh, let's see. Well, we don't need these power lines anymore. So eliminate those. Okay, so in terms of the way that this traffic is running here, I'm going to use that to inform the placement of the facilities here. I don't know why it's not giving me more of a route than that. There should be other trucks. Okay, right now, oh, that's so annoying that that's being imported when we have plenty of raw products sitting right there. Okay. It seems like this is not working right. That's really annoying. A lot of this is, of course, going back and forth to the highway. Some of it's going here. No use of this street at all. We must be going this way to get to this plant. Which makes some sense. No use of that street at all. I think we'll put a warehouse on this side. And that'll be planed timber. We'll keep that balanced. Okay. We have a decently established forestry industry here. My next thought is about how accessible these jobs are right now. And, you know, most people, I'm guessing, are driving to these jobs. And I don't know, can people bike on this sidewalk? I'm wondering, and I'm not sure. I don't see anybody biking. What I'm gonna do is upgrade. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Upgrade this to include some bike lanes. We're not losing any lanes here, which is good. And this may not be the road that I keep this at forever, but for now it works. And it looks better with the trees. So I'm going to keep an eye on this and see if we get any people biking on it. Or if this road, this bridge, does become a barrier. Okay, and then let's add bike lanes here. And we'll have them meet up with this. Because we don't want bikes here. I think that's just going to be too busy over the long run. And I would say that that probably be realistic in a real city as well. You wouldn't want bikes coming into this busy roundabout that comes from the highway. Definitely would not want that. Okay. Yeah, so people are defaulting to using this path, which I like. Alright, let's see. Do we have any people biking? No. We do have someone walking. They're probably walking to a job. Yeah. Oh, but it's just this one. Huh. Well, it looks like we're not going to answer that in this live stream, but I think we will next time. Alright, yeah, so I did not get to all the things that I wanted to get to, but I think we have a decent medium density residential neighborhood set up over here. It will continue to level up and I think start to look better eventually. Once these buildings level up, a lot of their parking lots will go away. And if we do end up with a majority that still have parking lots, I'll tear them down. Because I want it to look a certain way. In the real world, Some cities would potentially just not approve, depending on, you know, what the plan, the city plan for this neighborhood said. They may not approve buildings that have that high amount of parking. But yeah, it just depends on the city. Progressive cities, you know, and I use that word pretty loosely. More progressive cities that have a high demand for housing wouldn't want all that land wasted for parking. I'm gonna hit play on this again. So, you know, that's another justification for not wanting all of those buildings to have that parking. If some of them are already leveling up and don't have it, like these here, and I'm satisfied with that. Those teeny tiny little homes, single family little homes that get built early in the game. Let's see if I can find one. Oh, there's one right there. Like this. They eventually, let's see, get a better view. They eventually level up into something more like that house that I just showed before. If I can find it again, which I may not. I think, yeah, some examples over here, like this one, which looks a lot nicer. There's a lot of open lot line in front in terms of being set back pretty far, but it's still somewhat realistic. All right. Well, if you've tuned in for this live stream, thank you. I am tending to stream on weekends. Yeah, I tend to stream on Saturdays and Sundays. So thanks for joining me today. Maybe I'll see you again next week. I'll probably edit some of these videos throughout the week, and so if you want to skip watching this entire live stream, there'll be a shortened edited video so you can catch that content in that format as well later on. Yeah, alright, thanks for tuning in, and I'll hope to see you again soon.